So I learned a lot about myself, over the last 20 years. Starting my last company in 2014, we had a daughter going to stage 4 cancer. She had a Wilms tumor that took over her kidney. And I was, a few months into launching that company. And it was a reminder of like, of like the importance of, having a strong foundation of values and community around you, right? Because without that, there's no way I could have been there for her, or my family in any way, right? And like it was my foundation, and those things that led to like her recovery and my own recovery, right? And then my relentless focus on like, sort of making progress with the business I was building. And quite frankly, if I'm being completely blunt, I wasn't always like mentally healthy going through, those challenges. Because I think when you grow up in abject poverty in a place like Baltimore or Bridgeport, like you run from problems. Like you're taught to just run from shit, like because things are hard, right? And like most things, like you got no solution for it because they require some money, some resources that typically are far from you. And so you've got to turn your head sometimes to other things that you can control, right? So doing that just a little bit over time equals doing that a lot, right? And so I think, at that time, I probably was more in that mindset, right? And it was a wealth of friends around me that like constantly reminded me of what was important, of like, of giving me the support I needed in those moments, even though I didn't even know, the level of support that I truly needed, right? And so I think it was all of those things. And then like, getting to the exit in 2020, I felt like, that was a good time for me to pause and like to reflect on those prior years. So I tell entrepreneurs all the time to like take time to do introspections and like think about, sort of what you just did, right? Not just did over the last like 2 years, but like what'd you do late yesterday? What'd you do three days ago? Right? Those things like help to build confidence because like you see little wins, right? And the little wins equal big wins, right? And so I haven't always done that well, right? But I think in the last year, what I've learned is like less is more, less is more, right? As an entrepreneur, we don't always feel that way. As an entrepreneur, as podcasts, podcasters, like you use like more. Let me get a bigger guest. I want to put it all over the world, but less is more.